Come on, you fucking whore.
WTHC, good morning, everybody. You got the hippie here and my good friend and colleague, I like to say colleague, Dr. High over there. How are you, handsome?
I'm doing okay, thanks. Yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm all right, I can't complain. I drank a gallon of those drops yesterday, and they did diddly squat.
They did nothing, eh?
Yeah, no, nothing.
Well, that's a shame.
That makes me nervous about... Good morning, I don't even have the chat open. Hold on, I got to get over to the chat. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Hi, Mr. Slow and Jamie and
Facebook users.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, that's right. Good afternoon. Did we say good morning again? We might have.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll get used to it.
Happy high noon. I hope you're waking and baking if you're just getting up. And if you've been up for a while, it's high noon, so get smoking. We're here for the next 2 hours plus, hanging out, bullshitting, talking weed.
We will be doing.
I hope you have stuff to talk about. No? All right. We got questions, I'm sure. They're coming in like rampant over there. Good afternoon. Yes. Anyway, I have a story or two that I happen to look up, so I might. Oh, Jamie, we love your face too, and we miss you.
Is that what LYF means?
Love your face. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never heard it before.
Well, I'm so glad everybody's here. Thank you so much. If you haven't gone over to the YouTube, we have officially taken the lead on Master Rochi.
Have we?
Yes, we have 91. He has 90. We have taken the lead. So we got to just keep going now. We have to find out who's next on our list of people to beat on the way up.
That's funny.
We have 91 followers. Woo! We're almost up to 1 million. Let's go. Keep going.
How are you, Chris?
Good morning, Christopher. How are you? Welcome in. So good to see everybody. Thank you again for being here. Shout out to all of our sponsors. You guys are amazing. Dr. High, you never sent Mrs. Hippie the stuff.
What stuff?
The stuff for the commercial. Or me. You never sent me the stuff for the commercial that
we're going to make tomorrow?
No, for you.
Oh,
DoktorHigh.com.
Yeah, I completely.
When you get a chance. Yeah, when you get a chance. Yeah. But my guy that does the commercial voices now, he's waiting. So when you get a chance, he's caught up. He's caught up on all of his.
What do you want? An actual script or?
No, just basics, and we'll make something up and make it cool. Just basic stuff that you want us to say.
Cool.
All right.
Excellent. Anyway. Do that.
Yeah.
Faux show. You should have just received a friend request from Chardell Miller for tomorrow. You sent me a message saying you're having a hard time connecting with her.
Yeah, this morning we tried connecting with her. I even had the missus help because sometimes I don't know what I'm doing, and I was like, "Make sure I'm not fucking this up." And she was like, "No, we can't. We can't request her." So. Well, maybe she had herself as private and she only accepts certain people or whatever. So I figured
He has now sent you a friend request.
All right. I can't.
I was in contact with her this morning. So I asked her, I told her that you were having a hard time connecting with her. I asked her to send you the friend request and she got back to me and she said, done.
Thank you. So, all right. That is very exciting. Do you want to talk about her for a little while before we get going?
Yeah.
She's going to be our guest tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. I love guests.
I came to find out about Chardell because I had posted one of my blogs on Facebook when I lit it out there. I think it was either last week or the week before. And she sent me a really nice message, about thanks for what we were doing and trying to educate. And
was last week about the vaporizer, so it was probably the week before.
It was the one before that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the potential of medical cannabis. I think was the post that she talked to. What's up, Fulton Blocks? How you doing today?
Blocks
So,
in the house. Woo, woo.
you know, so thank you very much. And then she proceeded to tell me that cannabis, and especially RSO, specifically, had made a big difference in her life. She had come up against something that happens time to time for people, esophageal cancer, and through the RSO, she has now gone 3 years with no evidence of this cancer. So pretty interesting.
That's freaking amazing.
And I'm really looking forward to the story tomorrow. And she's also participated in a couple of studies, something in Australia, something from the United Kingdom. So
I'm down
we'll
for
learn
studies.
about the studies she's been involved with, and we'll find out all about her journey. And not only that, she is also, from what I understand, part of a group of people suffering with cancer who are using RSO. So she may be able to also tell us stories about others.
The RSO users of America.
Yeah, so it could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited. And Mrs. Hippie's already got another lady that we've been talking to that we met at CannaFest, and she is down with being on. She wants to come on. She is also a walking miracle. I don't know the whole story because her and Mrs. Hippie talked. I was on the other side of the booth, on the other side of the aisle, checking out another booth, talking to them. But I told Mrs. Hippie, hit her up because she's amazing.
Is that the organizer?
No, the organizer
is that also the organizer of the CannaFest?
No, the organizer and Mrs. Hippie are talking as well. This is a woman that we met. We met several people, and I got to still, we're reaching out to them now, starting to reach out to them, and see when they're ready to be able to come on. But this one woman, very interesting. Same situation, I think. Basically, from what I could tell, I don't want to talk on her like I don't, but from what I understand, couldn't walk, couldn't talk, couldn't do nothing, and marijuana is the reason she's walking, talking, singing. She now sings at these festivals. She walks around dressed up like a nun with a marijuana leaf on the front of her, and she owes it all. She owes it all to the plant, and she sings. She sits on a chair there, or she gets up and she walks around slow, but she's walking and talking, and it's all because of marijuana. And she's like, I'll definitely come on and tell you my story. I would love to come on and tell you my story.
Oh, that'd be very cool. Yeah, I can see
so
the
we're trying to set up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I see the religious connotation with her dressed up as a nun. I mean, the Rastafarian religion talks about the burning bush that Moses saw on the mountain actually being marijuana.
Yeah, I can't wait to have
that was the inspiration. So
yeah, I can't wait to have her on. She was amazing. My wife got to talk to her. We have so many other people like Legally Lit. You can look them up. They're right over the border in Jersey. If you're a Jersey person, they have a dispensary they have a grow farm across the street from their actual store. And so they are opening a store right on the other side of the border for me. So they said they were going to open it for me. So I can just hop over the border and get my shit.
What's that doctor's name? Dr. Harris? Who's coming on with us?
Dr. Harris, the amazing and wonderful Dr. Harris is going to be on not tomorrow, Thursday.
What's his first name?
Doctor.
Doctor?
I don't know. I never asked. That's not my place.
Well, I just thought you might have known.
No, I don't know. I mean, I could probably find out, but I don't have it offhand. Should have told me before.
He's a medical marijuana doctor in New Jersey or in Pennsylvania, right?
Pennsylvania, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting too.
Oh,
it's going to be a pretty good week once we stumble through today.
Yeah, and then North Spore is on Friday.
Yeah.
North Spore is
I'm going to have to pull up my finest mushroom background.
Mitchell Scott, how are you? Welcome in, everybody. Welcome
how are
in.
You?
See you guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions about medical marijuana or just about anything with that type of marijuana stuff, this guy knows everything. And I'm learning.
Not everything, but
I know
a little bit. I know a little bit.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping in. You guys are amazing. We love you guys. Please like and subscribe. If you have a YouTube channel, please go on over and subscribe to our YouTube. We are almost to 1 million. We have 91.
We have 91. No,
91.
I have 2.
2 to DoktorHigh and 91 to WTHC Radio. So please go subscribe. Well, Mitchell knows a lot too.
Oh, that's always cool. We love other highly intelligent cannabis folks for sure, because it always allows us to have stimulating conversation about different aspects of the plant. And, we like to talk everything from cultivation to consumption here, seed to smoke. It's all an open topic. We can go anywhere with that for sure. Oh, bless you.
Good
so
Lord.
You took that whole 150 milligram nano-emulsified dose yesterday and didn't feel the thing, eh?
Yeah, I felt it this morning when I was on the turlet.
Oh, yeah? Oh, jeez.
It was a little greasy. Sorry. It could have been Mississippi's cooking, though. You never know.
You can't say for a fact, eh?
Yeah, I can't prove.
No, but the fact that you didn't feel it is
you saw it.
Incredible.
I put that whole bottle in the second time. I took 5 out the first time, and then I said, just put the rest in, and it was gone. Guggle, 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 guggle.
Edibles aren't your future.
I guess I'm a lung guy for the rest of my life.
Yep, that'll be your absorption. Well, there's still the rectal avenue.
Right, rectal. I've been thinking about that more and more every day.
Completely out of luck.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that more and more. I'm like, you know what? Put a little tampon in my asshole, walk around and be high. I'm all right.
Little glycerin suppository.
As long as nobody notices the little string hanging out of my bathing suit, I'm okay.
That's funny.
Oh, I'm a freak. What did he say over there? I can't read that shit. It's too small.
That's what I'm trying to read. Chris was saying, "Good morning, Lori. How are you? I was checking on your order this morning. It's in production, so hopefully it's going to ship in the next couple of days."
Yeah, my CBD is in production too, bruh.
Is it? That's it, or it's in the mail? You got a tracking number here?
Yeah, well, they sent me a tracking number, so I guess it's in the mail.
Nice. So Chris says he was born club feet, many physical disabilities, so I can really relate to those stories and love hearing others. My family was told I would never walk when I was born. One of the many things I take pride in is doing so many things I was told I would never do. And I think some of that to cannabis. See, that's pretty incredible, right? And there's a couple of things, and that's where we can take a lot of inspiration from people with disabilities, because a lot of people do not allow these disabilities to prevent them from moving forward. It's inspirational to see people get out there. I know a guy, he was completely normal, just like I am, until he was just about 40 years old. And then he had a fall and it caused him to break his back. And he ended up being paralyzed from the waist down. And, he doesn't let him show it down. He doesn't let it slow him down. He still likes to go fishing, boating. He travels from Edmonton to Montreal for the Jazz Fest. He gets out. He does things. He stays active. It's really very cool, because you would think, like, if you're born in a certain situation and, it's one thing. It's the same kind of inspiration, right, to see people move forward, but to be complete at one point and then have the loss of something as taken for granted as the ability to walk, right, or stand or do any of that, and still get through and keep a positive mental attitude. I mean, it's just incredible. And that says a lot, Chris, about your intestinal fortitude and your psychological strength.
Fortitude, strength.
Yeah, the psychological strength that it takes to just move forward. Right? Yeah.
Keep fighting. Like
exactly.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Absolutely.
Lori, I sent you an invite, you dipshit. Just join the invite.
Yeah, you can come on the show, Lori. Why not?
No.
Did Hippie say you had to ask me first?
No. I told her, you're not even allowed to associate with Dr. High. She could ruin a relationship with 2 words. I don't know.
Not a chance. She's been the greatest customer of Dr. High's AI Haze so far. You know what I mean? She's been a great supporter of mine. So absolutely.
Yeah, come to the Discord and see how great she is. Anyway, good morning. Hi, Tina. Welcome in, everybody. Good afternoon. We got to do our commercials. Let's get them going. We'll be right back after this. You're hanging with Da.Hippie and Dr. High.
Okay, man. This is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're going to go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you going to do?
Wouldn't be the first troublemaker I've encountered in my time.
Either emotionally and physically. You got to dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. No, you won't. Because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Are you looking to have some crocheted, made by hand stuff like your Grammy used to do for you? Then you need to check out You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy and TikTok. Vern can do what you need. She crochets hats, she crochets animals, everything, anything you may need. She also makes vinyl stickers, banners for your business. Anything that you might want that she can do, she can definitely do it for you. You want an I Hate My Ex sticker? She's got you covered. Anything, and I mean anything that you may need. She has cheap and reasonable prices. Check her out. You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy and TikTok.
They buy bottled water. Holistic Health Water has certified medical-grade water ionizers that make 7 types of water, including healthy alkaline. There's a 5-micron filter that lasts up to a year, and each machine lasts 25 to 30 years. Simply attach to your faucet or install under your sink. Even get a mineral spa unit for your shower. Go to ownyourwater.org to get a free ebook. Plus, pay for any machine in full and get an extra filter free. Change your water and change your life. Ownyourwater.org.
Oh, yeah, baby, Smoke Sticky, and you're blazing with THC Radio on Live 365 and tune in.
Happy 420 somewhere.
When it's cold or when it's hot, you know we smoke lots of pot every single day, every single day. If you're ever in need, you know we smoke lots of weed every single day, every single day. Well, I know it seems like all I ever talk about is smoking weed, but I know you like it too, and my bag don't have a seed, so I'm motivated singing songs and puffing lots of cannabis. I've been to Amsterdam a time or two, and hallelujah for it, Sheba double bubble gum and lots of cream Moroccan hash, purple power, yellow cab. I love the juicy fruity grass. If you want answers on the positive effects of sticky green, just hang with me, and in one day we'll smoke more than you've ever seen. It's colder If you're ever in need, you know we need every single day.
Every single day.
Up in trees and singing
You
songs,
want to come on the show?
songs every single day.
You want to come up?
So if you plan on stopping by, you can plan on getting high every single day. Every single day. And if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're lifted and you know it, clap your hands. Now we're all getting silly. I am goofy and I'm making music that is funny, floating on a puppy cloud. How'd you like to be my friend? Cause there is no stress involved. If you're having trouble with somebody, leave them problem solved. I will smoke a hoot or poke a cooter, never be in misery. Cause life is good and so is me. I'm feeling great cause I am free. It's colder when it's hot. You know we smoke lots of pot every single day. Every single day.
Well, thank you, Lori Pritt.
You know we smoke lots of pot every single day. Every single day. Up in trees and singing songs, rolling blunts and back and bongs. Every single day. Every single day. So if you plan on stopping by, you can plan on getting high every single day. Every single day.
Every single day, every single day, every single day. WTHC, we're back. You're hanging with the hippie and DoktorHigh. We got an exciting week coming up. We got say it again, Shardell
Miller.
Shardell Miller,
Yep. Dr. Harris.
Dr. Harris, and North
Shore Spores.
Yeah, it's a
Could be a
very,
good thing.
very exciting week. I'm excited. Do you have anything for us, DoktorHigh, or should I go to my story? I have a story or two up there.
I got something I was going to get to yesterday, but we didn't get around to.
Okay.
But I will pull it out now because I thought it was really quite interesting. So this is an article from the 17th of August, 2023, out of Ohio. And the article is by Normal, which is the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. Great organization, done a lot to fight for the legalization.
Shout out to Normal
for a very long time. I mean, they're not new to this bandwagon. They've been fighting this for 30 years or more. You know, that organization has been around a long time. So the article title is an analysis. It says healthcare insurance premiums decline following the adoption of medical cannabis legalization. This out of Bowling Green, Ohio. Medical cannabis legalization is associated with reductions in the average cost of individual healthcare premiums, according to data published in the International Journal of Drug Policy. A team of researchers affiliated with Bowling Green State University in Ohio and Illinois State University assessed the impact of state-specific medical cannabis legalization laws on individual health insurance premiums. Investigators compared trends in premium costs in states with and without legalization over an 11-year period. So from 2010 to 2021, that was the data that they used, the data set. It said they reported that prices for individual premiums fell in medical cannabis states as compared to jurisdiction where marijuana is illegal. Initial concerns about medical cannabis legalization leading to increases in medical care costs, which would be reflected in higher insurance premiums, appeared to be unfounded, the authors determined. Starting 7 years after medical cannabis legalization implementation, we estimate a sizable and statistically significant reduction in annual per enrollee premiums of about $1,600. Reduction. It says the study's authors further estimate that if medical cannabis legalizations were enacted nationally, conservatively, we could expect to see a savings of at least $16.8 billion in healthcare costs simply due to the fact that marijuana is accessible and legal for medical purposes. Investigators concluded In this study, we provide evidence of a statistically significant reduction in individual market premiums starting 7 years after the implementation of medical cannabis laws. Because of the pooled nature of insurance, the lower premiums benefit cannabis users and non-users alike in medical cannabis states. Our results are important as healthcare expenses, including health insurance premiums, have been growing faster than inflation and compromise an increasing share of a household's budget. So imagine that. $1,600 goes a long way every year to buying groceries, to
Or medicine.
paying for fuel, to paying for medicine goes a long way. It says the study's findings are consistent with prior analyses showing that medical cannabis implementation is associated with a reduction in Medicaid costs. Other studies have shown that legalizing medical marijuana access is associated with significant reductions in the patient's use of opioids and other prescription medications.
Oh,
That's a study that's been conducted by two well-known universities. I mean, this isn't the University of Bob, or it's not THC University at
hey, that's my university. Don't talk about my university like that.
But what I'm saying is that
My alma mater.
Illinois State and Bowling Green, both well-known schools.
Yeah.
And this is a conclusion from their studies.
And I know there's another big one that's doing a lot of studies down in Louisiana, down there somewhere. They're doing a lot of studies for it. So anyway, I have an opportunity, and I wanted to see how you felt about this because somebody reached out to me and mentioned that they grow peyote, and they would love to be on the show and talk about it.
Okay. Are they First Nations?
I don't know. I didn't get that far yet.
Who can use peyote legally in the U.S.?
I don't know. I didn't get that far yet.
You know what I mean?
I was kind of hoping that you, sir, being the expert, would have an idea.
Well, I Hey, Doug, how are you? Hopefully you're feeling better. We haven't seen you for a little bit. That COVID's gone now. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We're all going into lockdown again mid-September. They're coming. They're going to try and crank the handle on us again, but we have to resist.
We have a radio show, so it don't matter. I don't have to go outside. I can stay inside.
Yeah.
Radio all day.
Not about that, though.
Smoking pot every single day. I still got it stuck in my head. Every single day. Mr. Slow is back, huh, Mr. Slow? Anyway, he should be on his way home from work, if not home already.
Yeah. I hope you've discontinued using that pen.
Oh, yeah. He said joints for him. He's done trying to figure out our craziness.
Well, you know, the thing is, until it is legal where you are, you just can't be sure of what's in them. You know, like the first pens I made, I would not make again, where I was using polyethylene glycol and propylene glycol and vegetable glycerin. Those were the standards initially, especially for using thick concentrates like shatter to liquefy them for the coil, but they really were not the best options health-wise, right? So
wait a second. Wait a second. Whoa. So I am a vapor, and I think a couple of those things you just mentioned are in that stuff.
Well, definitely
propylene glycol
and
vegetable glycerin.
See, propylene glycol is what carries the flavor. So propylene glycol gives the flavor, and vegetable glycerin gives you the cloud, right? Because a lot of people vape simply because they're into the fucking cloud.
I am.
You know what I mean? That you exhale. So if you remove the vegetable glycerin, the cloud isn't quite as significant with just propylene glycol. Now, because I was using cannabis concentrate, I had to use what they call polyethylene glycol, or PEG, because that has an alcohol component to it. And that alcohol was what allowed the concentrate to become emulsified through the whole oil. Right? So I had to add something extra than you would find in your regular vape juice that you buy at the smoke shop, right? That's a nicotine carrying vape juice or whatever the course may be. So yeah, but it's really, you don't know what people are using in these pens. There was a lot in the news a year or so ago about people becoming hospitalized from vaping with these issues with their lungs. And that was because people were using vitamin E acetate as the carrier oil inside the vape pens. And that's not meant to be inhaled. So that was causing a lot of problems to people and people got sick from it. So
popcorn lung.
Yeah. So you have to be super careful with that, what's in it, right? So yeah, better to stay away for the moment until you can find that on a, like, I don't know if you ever get into the continent, right? If you get over to Spain or if you holiday in Ibiza or someplace like that, because, it's very common for people in the UK to take their holidays in Europe because it's just so easy to do, right? You hop on the train and you're in France and through the Channel Tunnel and you go about it. So if you ever get over to a country you're on holiday that has more tolerance, then perhaps you can give it a try. But until then, stay away. I really would have liked to have seen the package, and I would have liked to have seen the pen itself before you used it and now, but we can't go back in time, so I can't learn. Doc, my mom has neuropathy and is allergic to pain medication. Might be a great candidate for RSO, Lori. Might be really good for that. My stepdad has neuropathy also in his feet. But he's also been battling Hodgkin's. He just had his maintenance chemo dose the other day. So he's been going through it, and cannabis and RSO has really helped him. And he's had a rough time with this treatment. It's been very difficult on him. It's taken his energy away. He's been quite ill, suffered a lot of pain, but he has been using cannabis all the way through, gummies, RSO, and it has made a difference for him. So, so that's what you can try with your mom.
I don't know if Barbara Ann is much of a smoker, though, so we would have to, she's
RSO is an edible.
Yeah, well, she's an older woman, so we definitely want to help her, understand what she's doing. So,
but Lori's only 23, so her mom could be like 40.
She's in her 40s, yeah, but
yeah,
she's getting older, like us.
Yep, that's it. But that's what I would think. You could even try, Lori, for your mom, a little bit of that distillate that you like to eat. Not quite the same as RSO because the distillate by nature has been stripped of a lot of its components, but it is THC, so you can see with a small dose of the distillate whether your mom experiences less pain or not, and that might be a clue to it being the right direction. And then basically what you want to do is go into the RSO so that you get the additional benefit of the CBD and CBN and CBG and all the other components there. Yeah, what's up, Hippie?
See those 3 little letters that she wrote right there?
No.
BRB.
Oh.
Be right back. So
I thought that was...
We're talking, buddy. She's not here. She's not here listening. So we'll have to tell her again when she gets back, I guess.
What are you rolling, Raggy? What are you smoking today? What's the strain of the day?
You don't know. He gets a bag. It's clear. He sees through it. It's green. He smokes it.
I'd sure love to see what the street quality is over there. Oh, Lori.
See, now she's back.
I'd say you're back, but you missed the whole conversation. You'll have to ask that question again tomorrow.
Yeah, or you'll have to go back and watch it again.
Rewind. Got to go backwards.
Yeah, well, we're live, so you can actually go back a couple minutes and then catch it back up if you want to.
Well, I hope you're on the rebound, Doug. The leg infection, COVID. That's rough, eh? That's the thing about life is you just bounce back and forth. Like things can be going great, and then something
Things
pops up and it throws you off track, and you got to
things
recover
just
again.
start to get going, and then all of a sudden something sets you back, and then you get going again,
Yeah.
and then
But
too
you
many
just got to
of those
soldier through,
setbacks,
man.
they make you sad, after a while. Too many of them setbacks,
But you know what? You can really recover from anything, right? A little bit of time, a little bit of intestinal fortitude, and you can get where you need to be. I don't know. It's green and it gets you high. Is it pretty? Like when you look at pictures, Raggy, of cannabis in magazines and on Facebook, is it pretty like that? Or is it, how is it over there?
Pale green and gross.
Send us pictures.
It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look, I don't know. It doesn't look, I don't know. It looks fine, I guess.
Well, the problem with the UK is,
Well, there's a lot of problems with the UK, but
the problem is you got an extremely short grow season.
No sun.
Yeah. It's a challenge right over there. So I don't know whether the product there is coming in from other countries or whether they're doing underground grow or whatever it is. So please get you everything in life.
I just got a friend request from a seed company in the UK. I accepted. So
yeah, be interesting.
Underground seed company in the UK.
Well, but seeds are really like in this weird zone, right?
But if you get seeds, you have to get them from somewhere, DoktorHigh.
Yeah, you do. But I'm just saying that seeds are in this weird category because in order for them to prove that they're marijuana seeds, they have to actually plant them and make them grow. And then
they're in trouble for growing weed.
Yeah, and they can't legally do that to see whether there's any THC, right? And it's a pretty long process. We busted you with your seeds today. We'll come back and charge you in 8 months when the plant's been harvested, and we can determine the THC content.
And we've smoked
Make
it,
sure it's not them.
tasted it, and made sure that it was THC and not CBD.
Right. Hey, when I was about 15 or 16 years old, I had a little girlfriend in high school, and she was babysitting. So she said, well, the lady doesn't mind if you come over while I babysit. It's all cool.
Come on over while I'm babysitting. I remember those days.
So I went over, and Lori had hash broken up on top of the stove.
Lori was there?
Well, not that Lori, but hi, Chardell. How are you? There's our guest for tomorrow.
Hi, Chardell. So nice to meet you.
So Lori's got the hash broken up on top of the stove and the knives in the eye. We're going to do some hot knives. So I said to her, I said, the car's still here. Is that okay? And she's like, oh, yeah, that's okay. It's no problem. She doesn't mind. So we do a hot knife, 2 hot knives. And then I see a police officer walking by the door. Like a Sandwich West police officer from the place where we live, walking by. So I'm like, Lori, there's a cop outside. And she's like, really? Yeah. She's like, oh, what's that all about? Then the next thing you know, the door to the house is open and this cop's walking in. And I'm fucking like, Lori, get rid of that shit. And she starts laughing at me. The cop comes in. He says, oh, hi, Lori, how are you? Let me get one of those. Boom, took the hot knife right there. It was the lady's boyfriend. Scared me to death. I was just a kid.
Yeah, I would have been scared to death too.
Yeah, freaked me right out.
Wait a minute. There was a cop doing a hot knife?
Yep.
That's illegal.
In uniform.
That's illegal.
And it was probably like 1983 or something like that. 1983 or 1984.
Oh, all right. So Chardell, why are you sorry? Don't ever be sorry here.
Yeah, no reason to be sorry, Chardell. We're really happy to have you.
I'm the one that makes all the mistakes. It's me that's sorry.
So we'll go back to Lori here for a minute. Are you with us still, Lori? I don't have to put everybody through it more than twice.
Lori, she's here because she just wrote, I had a cop come to my house and smoke with me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have since smoked with police officers, but at the time, no. It was a little bit nerve-wracking. I was completely taken aback by it. So with your mom's neuropathy and the pain, if you still have some distillate there, you can try her with a small dose of the distillate.
Steve,
see if there's any lessening of the pain that she's experiencing from the neuropathy. If
now don't give her a big blob like you take.
No, I mean half of a grain of rice.
Yeah,
especially if your mom's got no experience with cannabis at all. Half a grain of rice just to judge the reaction to see.
Don't tell her, Lori. Don't tell her.
No, you need to tell her just in case.
No, you don't need to tell her. There's no cop here. There's no cop here. Slide it on a piece of toast and say, "Here, Mom, here's some toast. I put some butter on it."
That ain't the way. But
this is not right.
Try that because it's high. It's high in THC, right? So if she feels any sort of relief at all from that dose, then I would suggest switching over to RSO so you get a more complete preparation rather than just distillate, right? So that you have access to other cannabinoids and other beneficials from the plant, because distillate by nature is stripped.
No THC, she says. No THC. Mom is not going to do THC. That's why I said right on the toast.
Well,
and then when Mom says, "Holy shit, I feel great today. Why do I feel so excellent today?" You say, "Nothing. I don't know. Must be that wonderful toast I make you every morning."
You could try CBD lotion, absolutely. But what I would do, Lori, is make it yourself. I would not go to the dispensary and buy it because you're going to pay an arm and a leg for that sort of thing. And it's very easy to make it at home. But also you could.
I was just kidding, Barbara Ann. I was just kidding. I love you.
You could do that preparation in the lotion, but include a little bit of THC also, because she won't get any kind of high from it, transdermally. But it can be beneficial. Neuropathy, if it's got to do with inflammation in the nerves, which I believe that it does, CBD should go a long way in helping with that inflammation part of it, and then that little bit of THC could stimulate some pain relief at the same time. So that's what I would do, Lori. I would make it yourself, because
great.
Whether they're going to charge you $45 for, or $50 for, or $60 for in the dispensary, you can really make yourself for $6 or $7. There's no reason to spend that money. Save that money for cannabis images and decorating your home.
GVB Biopharma.
Yeah,
Biopharma. Please go there. We're going to make this stuff in a month or two, because every day somebody orders today. And then I'm like, all right, now we got to wait for Lori's shipment to come in. Now we got to wait for Coy's shipment. Everybody's getting the shipment, which is great. I'm so happy, because everybody should have some CBD in their life.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no harm to including it in your regular regimen. You know what I mean? Just to put a few drops in your coffee in the morning, to put a little bit on your food, or whatever the case may be. Getting a few milligrams into you every day is absolutely no danger at all. And there's a lot of evidence to show there's a huge potential upside to the inclusion of cannabinoids in your day in and day out life.
Yes.
Just in general wellness, even if you're not sick, it's because of this balancing properties. It's because of its ability to interact with your endocannabinoid system and stimulate balance and promote healing. And just very, very good thing to be involved with.
All right, we got to run a commercial, but we'll be right back. You're hanging with Da.Hippie and DoktorHigh on WTHC on Live 365, and tune in and over here on Facebook and YouTube, that is. We'll be right back.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad.
Pound that
just the
like
same.
button, guys. Pound that
To
like
learn more,
button.
visit
Share button,
adoptuskids.org.
subscribe button.
A public service
whatever
announcement
you're
brought to you
supposed
by
to
the
do.
U.S. Department of
Whatever
Health and
those
Human
big
Services,
creators tell
Adopt
you
US
to
Kids,
do.
and the
I'm
Ad
pretending
Council.
to be one of them. Pound, pound, pound.
This is the story
Yeah.
of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is.
Nice, Lori.
She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed.
I guess
Once,
cars,
this
trucks
woman put
shouldn't
back
go
together a
underneath
teenage
bridges.
girl's broken heart, which had been
all the time.
in pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work.
Well, let's
But as a
pray everybody's
superhero at
okay
home,
and we can replace
everyone
the
knows her
cars.
as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, Mrs. Hippie, why don't we take a ride to Dauphin, PA today?
Dauphin? What's in Dauphin?
Bella's Badass Crystals.
Oh, but I thought you hang out with them on Facebook and on TikTok.
That's only on Mondays, Tuesdays, Saturdays, Sundays. Today I want to go there and pick up all my great finds.
That sounds like a great road trip. That's Bella's Badass Crystals on TikTok and Facebook, but you can also find them on the top of the mountain in Dauphin, PA.
They are badass.
Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. If you need some kick-ass puppets, contact Thorge at 1-636-234-1535. He has all your puppet needs. He can fix puppets, build puppets, custom-made puppets. He has puppets off the rack for cheap prices. Contact Thorge today at 1-636-234-1535 or on TikTok or Facebook at Badger Heart Puppetry. He also makes LARPing items too.
I didn't know you did that commercial live.
WTHC, yeah, I do. I've been playing it for the last 2 years. It's branded in my head. I love it. It was my first commercial I ever made, so I can't get rid of it. I think he's stuck with it forever. Even if he doesn't sponsor me anymore, I'm just going to keep playing it. 'Cause I love him anyway, and he's a great puppet maker. And he did not make me, though. He's making me a new one now.
Okay.
So in the future, there'll be a new hippie here, I think, that's going to look a little more like the big guy over here. Some gray hair. I know. It's tough because, well, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Hippie and DoktorHigh over here, hanging with the Hippie and DoktorHigh on WTHC. I want to thank everybody out there on Live 365 and TuneIn, and of course, everybody hanging out over here on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much. Please pound that like button and the subscribe button and whatever else those dudes tell you to do. I don't know, but I need you to do that shit too. We're trying to we took the lead on Master Rochi. A fantastic show, by the way. If you guys haven't checked out his show, and Princess Kate or Queen Kate and Master Rochi, they do a show
Mondays and Thursday evenings, I think.
Monday and Thursday nights. Absolutely, they are fantastic. We love them. They don't even know I'm in a competition with them. They're just, we both started our YouTubes at the same time, and he took a big lead. Like, we're in trouble. But we've caught up, and I enjoy watching their show. I try to catch it every day, every time I can. That being said, back to you, Dr. High.
I was just looking at your license behind you. Does it say WTHC-D8?
DB.
Oh, DB. I was going to say, isn't that funny how it says D8?
No, DB, digital broadcasting.
Oh, okay. I thought it said D8. I was going to be like, Delta 8. Isn't that bizarre? Isn't that bizarre?
Isn't it ironic? Don't you
Yeah.
think?
I love Lana Morissette. That album was incredible.
Oh, I love her. Yeah, she was gorgeous too. I kind of had something for her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I got to get the boy to help me put the new tapestry up. I can't be climbing up on the table and taking all that shit down. It'll all the
What do you
table.
got for a tapestry?
Lori got one that says "Welcome to the Shit Show," so I'm gonna hang it back here behind us, and then redecorate. But you know,
nice.
It's a lot of work. This woman thinks that I can just take all this stuff down. I got puppet hands, man. I can't do all that stuff. I can barely hold the camera.
You can just hang it all over the top, and nobody will know what's behind it.
Right, I could just cover it all and just screw it to the ceiling and let it just dangle down.
You know, I've always wanted to do a room in my house that was like the inside of a Bedouin desert encampment, a Bedouin tent, right? To be able to hang fabric from the walls so it's all draped like a tent in the ceiling and the walls.
Yeah, I've seen
some up with a low table and all the cushioning.
Hookah. Have you hookah?
Yeah. It would be an awesome place for your 420 enjoyment, a place of relaxation.
Well, now they're going to come. All houses in the future will have those kind of rooms because everybody will be smoking weed. So you'll have your smoking room now. It'll be no longer the frog, the family room above the garage. It'll be the smog, the smoking room above the smorag.
I built
above the garage.
When my children were young, I had a room that was in my garage. So it was more like a cold storage, right? But it was a room outside of the house, but in the garage. So I had the steel door into the house from the garage, but this room was on the exterior. And I decided it was the ideal location for a smoking room because it kept the smoke away from my children, right? I was out of the actual house. Sure. So I had a local head shop I used to go to that had been really decorated in a cool way by an airbrush artist named Sans, because it was in Quebec. He was French, young kid, 20 years old maybe at the time. So I tracked him down through the store. I said, how do I get in touch with this guy who paints all the walls in your store and everything? They put me in touch with him, and I made a deal with him to come and decorate that room. So we settled on a price. I don't remember the dollar figure, but it also included a half a pound of weed.
Oh.
So, yeah,
you had to give him?
I had to give him a half a pound and some. I don't remember whether it was just the weed or whether I had to give him money too.
Yeah, and some more money, whatever. But he was pretty happy with the half a pound of weed to do it.
Yeah, and he was just a young guy, right? And he came in and he created the most incredible paintings in this room. He did one wall, so it looked like you were in Hawaii, right? You'd have the mountains.
Dr. High. I need to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Do you have pictures?
No. Well, maybe someplace we do.
Yeah, someday I would love to see them. No, go ahead. Now you can explain it. I want to see them. I mean, you got to take pictures of that shit when it's your school.
Well, I'm sure we did, but I think back then we were using Polaroid cameras and all those.
It was that many years ago?
1997, 1998, maybe, you know what I mean?
97, 97. Hold on, I gotta freaking remember what 97 was. All right, 97. All right, I was just getting ready to have a baby. Well, just getting ready to meet my future wife at that time.
Well, that's it. This was shortly after my daughter was born. So he did the one wall. It looked like you were in Hawaii, right? But there was a hut on the beach leading down to the ocean, and it was all done in this perspective. So it looked like you were standing in the ocean looking back towards the beach house and the mountains and the trees. Really cool there. He did another wall that was all like just one big field of cannabis plants, like a whole field of them right into the wall. And then he did a third wall that was like something out of Lord of the Rings. with all the skulls and the weed plants and these cracked rocks. And like the landscape was like a Lord of the Rings landscape, but it had weed and skulls and all these other things mixed into it. It was just an amazing room. I had all my shelves out with all my smoke.
How big of a room was it? Like a 10 by 10? Was it a 5 by 8?
I'm going to say it was probably like 8 by 12, maybe.
I'm trying to vision it because, you know, you got a lot of art there on 4.
Oh, yeah. It was super cool. Super cool.
Yeah, I could only imagine. And then you had your own art hanging, stuff that you wanted hanging around on top of it, or did you just leave them?
No, I left it the way he did it. And then on the 4th wall, he did a big canvas that was hung there. And that was my smoking room for I don't know, about 5 or 6 years. And I had all my glass on the walls, like all the shelves with all the glass and everything. It was just an amazing room to go into.
Do you miss it?
Yeah, I do. It was kind of cool, but it ended up.
Did you grow in there as well? Did you do any of your own little growing?
No. There I grew outside.
Well, yeah,
because I put up
your daughter was an infant at the time, right?
Yeah, I put up a 10-foot privacy fence around my property. Like you could really my 2 neighbors' homes. We had a quarter lot, so we had one house here and one house here, but neither of those 2 houses had windows that looked down into my property. So I had a 10-foot privacy fence. I could do anything I wanted back there. Nobody could see anything. It was perfect. You know what I mean? It was really perfect.
DoktorHigh, speaking of growing in your yard, okay, I experienced this a couple years ago, and we might as well get onto some weed topics here. When I did my major grow, which was very unsuccessful, but, you know, I probably got a pound out of 15 plants. Okay. That's
how many plants?
15.
That's an ounce of plant. Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, it was rough. It was a rough year. But my wife, it was our first real grow, and we actually got 15 to grow. So I was like, whoa. And there was actually stuff on them. I was like, whoa, this is actually good. And it was really sticky. Anyway, my story goes as far as so I had like 15 of them, and they were now outdoor, and they were kind of growing wild in the wind and the brush in the yard, you know. And my mailman came one day, and he said, and I said, yeah, I was spray painting. And he was like, yeah, that doesn't smell like spray paint. Like, oh, and I kind of shit myself. And then I said, okay, have a nice day. And then I kind of went and moved them because I said, that's not good if the dude's smelling it in my front yard and these are in my side yard. And so how do you take care of that? Is there a way that you can cover that? Especially for somebody who is in a state where it may or may not be legal.
Not outdoors. That's you can't control that outside. You can control it indoors, but you can't control it outdoors.
Such a strong aroma. You could, after he said that, you know, the next day I came walking up my driveway and I said, and I was like, oh yeah, he's right. You could smell those fucking plants. They were fucking strong, and they were in my backyard now. I was like, damn, that's over the house or around the house, coming around into my driveway. And I was like, woo.
I can tell you about 2 grows that I was involved with. The one at the licensed producer in Alberta, from the time you turned the corner onto that road, you could smell weed. You know what I mean? And that was probably the corner to the building could have been 500 yards. You know what I mean? And you could smell it right from the corner. You could smell it. And we had commercial air filters in place.
I'm not complaining about the smell, for God's sake. I love the smell.
But it's super hard to control, right?
Yeah.
And then when I did the medical grow in Quebec, where we only had 615 plants, we had massive can filters, activated charcoal filters running throughout the whole building. We had 2 in each room. And then we also had them built into the ductwork for the AC units and returns and everything to clean the air. But you could still smell it from the exterior of the building, right? From 15 or 20 feet, anywhere around the outside, you could smell it. There's no way to hide what you were doing. But when you go at home.
Hi, Elvis. How are you, buddy?
Yeah. How you doing, Elvis? Yeah, you can send it to me in Discord. I don't go there very often, but when I go, I'll see it for sure. I've been playing with a different AI the last couple of times I've been making images. So just to see if I can get better images out of a different software called Leonardo. So it's pretty interesting. And I love it too. I'll never forget the first time I smelled weed. I was about 10 or 11 years old. We were in, I believe, North Carolina. We're on vacation. We were going to an outdoor show from an Indian. I don't know if they were Cherokee Indians or which band they were, which tribe they were there, but whoever the native tribe was in North Carolina, they did this really cool outdoor type powwow show that you could go to. And we were on our way to that. We'd stop to have dinner at the restaurant first, and I'm going to the bathroom. And my mother's going to the bathroom at the same time. And I stop and I said to my mother, Mom,
what is that
what's
smell?
that smell? Because somebody had smoked weed in the bathroom.
She said, nothing. Mind your own business.
Yeah. Oh, or I don't know, or whatever it was.
I don't
But
smell nothing.
That was the first time I smelled weed, and I have been a fan
ever since. Yeah, I remember my uncle. I was probably 10 or 11 or 12, and he was my godfather, and he was 13 when I was born. So he was in his 20s when I was 10 or 11 or 12, and he was cool as shit. He rode a motorcycle. He was into fishing. He drank Budweiser, and that was the day I smelt my first marijuana cigarette.
Did he smoke Winston's? Or
No.
Marlboros? No, it's Marlboro.
Marlboro Red. Yeah, Marlboro Red. Rolled up in his T-shirt, white T-shirt, rolled up on his sleeve. This is the mid-70s.
Yeah.
No, I guess very early 80s. And I remember him and his buddy were sitting on, and they set me up over here in an area a little bit further away from them where I was going to catch the big fish. You're going to get the big fish, boy. Go over there and stand over there and fish. And then they sat on the back of their truck with their beer, and they were handing out something back and forth together. And I didn't know what they were doing, but I smelled something, and I was like, I love the smell of that. That is smelling good.
Phone's ringing.
You gotta go. I can put you down.
Not really, but it's the place where I went to interview for the job on Friday.
Oh, you should answer. Answer while you're on. We'll see if you got the job.
No, I'll call them afterwards, but I'm not going to take it anyway.
I know. That's why
it was just for my own shits and giggles, right?
Well, you wanted to practice because you got some other interviews in the future. You're moving.
Exactly.
How's the move thing going? Have you settled on a place yet? Or are you still stressing?
No, I had the lease was emailed to me this morning. For my perusal
on the one that your daughter went and looked at.
Yeah,
the small one, but very cool location, very perfect for everything else.
Yeah, I mean it's a good location. The building is new. It was built in 2019. Super big balcony, very modern. A lot of exposed concrete, and it's going to be a cool. What's that?
Second floor.
Yeah, second floor there. Yeah.
You wanted to save some money and be on the second floor instead of on the fourth floor or whatever.
Yeah, $220 different to be 2 floors higher. I don't give a shit about that at all.
You're high enough on the second floor.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you allowed to smoke in your building?
I don't believe so, no, but I vape anyway.
Yeah, so it won't. Yeah,
and I don't worry about.
But what about the hundreds and hundreds of pounds that you have in your closet? Not going to start to reek.
I have the technology
to hide.
I run a grow room air filter in my house all the time. It's always running. I haven't shut it off.
Do you have plants growing, sir? Do you grow your own little bit, like 2 or 3, just for yourself?
Not this year. I was going to this year, but then the talk started coming up about.
I'm starting to get a little concerned about my plants, sir.
Why?
Only because it doubled in size again, but only right there on the top. And that little stemmy thing is not strong enough to hold this fucker up right now. It
will be. It's nature, man.
Keeps over. I'm like, stand up, please, stand up.
Well, if you're concerned, you can just put like those bamboo skewers that people use for the.
I actually have some out there. Yeah.
Yeah, just slip a little one in there next to the plant, close to where the leaves are, so it's like in the crotch of two leaves, kind of, and that'll keep it from flopping.
Yeah, you said 6 inches or more, right? Before I can move it to like a 1 gallon or whatever.
Yeah, you want it to get a little bit of strength first, so you'll want the plant to be like that before you transplant it. And you're in a red cup, right?
Right now, I'm in like a little Dunkin' Donuts paper rippable cup. It's like
exactly. So you're just gonna
like a Dixie cup.
Yeah, you're just gonna pop that thing out right into the next piece.
I'm not even gonna pop. I'm just gonna rip the paper right off and cut it right. I mean, unless it pops. But I think I have some mulch at the very bottom. So, because when I did it, I put a little mulch in, then I put some Searle, and then I put some more mulch in, and I put some Searle.
Right.
And now Mrs. Hippie's going to go get me the real dirt for this when we transfer it over.
Yeah, not from the front yard this time, you mean?
No more. My son went in and pulled all those weeds now, too. He cleaned it all up out there. In that hole. I was like, yeah, thanks, Dick. Thanks, Dick. I'm trying to grow weed here, and now I'm growing your weeds. So now I'm down to that one plant. I threw the third one away. I gave up on him. I was like, I guess you're just a quitter.
So I'm just going to look here for Raggy's pictures.
Mr. Slow he's very persistent for a slow guy.
Yeah, I just wanted to take a look and see what he sent. But, I just see a picture of Lori holding you tightly.
Holding me? Yeah, she loves me.
Yeah, fellas. Nice.
That's when she grabbed my balls.
That's funny. Where did you send it, Raggy?
She inappropriate on Discord.
Yeah, I know. I just can't figure out where I should be looking. I'm really technologically behind the curtain.
On your Discord, you should swipe to your left, I think, on your phone, and then it'll open up a whole bunch of rooms and stuff. Like you'll see, and then you'll see like white dots next to stuff.
I got it.
People that have sent you stuff, and then you click
Sky Daddy.
The Sky Daddy, yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, that's him. That's my friend Raggy.
So the weed doesn't look bad.
He sent you a picture of his flower. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad.
No, it looked light, like a lighter. Well, I don't know what he got today, but the other day when I saw it looked nice buds, but a little lighter green than the darker greens that you see. But nothing horrible. It didn't look bad. I couldn't get up. I wasn't close. I couldn't see crystals and hairs and stuff. But
I'd like to know how that vape oil smells. I don't suggest you smoke it, but why don't you pull it apart, Raggy, so you can get a good smell inside of there to see what it smells like. It also looks like it is a ceramic chamber, like a ceramic coil. So
now sir,
Dark Side of the Moon is a perfect background for that image.
That's his room. That's on his wall in his bedroom. He painted that. I think he painted it. But what I was going to say is I found on my Snapchat 2 pictures of Raggy's cart wrappers he sent me.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think they disappear after a while, right? On Snapchat, isn't something happening?
I don't know. I've never used it.
Yeah, well, that's another thing is you don't have Snapchat, so I can't forward them to you, and I don't know how I would get them off of Snapchat. I would have to try to take a picture of
I have
them.
a hard enough time staying on top of the social media I got to deal with as it is, like Twitter.
My God, I don't even twit. I'm not even a twit. I can't twit. I am barely even able to keep up with my Instagram. My Facebook is a fucking mess. I don't even know how I keep track of this shit. And YouTube is the only one that leaves me alone and doesn't give me a hard time. I love you, YouTube. I have not gotten in trouble on YouTube at all, but everywhere else I'm in trouble. TikTok, I'm in trouble. Facebook, I'm in trouble. Instagram, I'm in trouble. YouTube, I love you.
Yeah, it's really crazy, right? Because
it smells like
here in Canada, we should be able to post any cannabis-related content in this country because it's completely legal. You know what I mean? There should be no restriction at all.
Yeah, but you're not. Then you should have your own Canadian Facebook. You know, like that's what they're trying to say is that if you're going to be a part of us in America, we don't have it legal, so they're not going to allow you to put it up because you know it's.
Well,
you can't just show it off, you freaks. You can't show off and say nanny poo poo. You guys have it and we don't. That wouldn't be nice.
Well, perhaps one of these days I'll be able to get Jacob to join us so we can talk about the social media app that he's created, ACGC fam.
I want to get in that. I keep forgetting ACGC fam. Damn it.
Yeah, ACGC fam. But you can look for the group on Facebook. Anyone can grow cannabis, which is ACGC. You know, and I mean he's got it dialed in, and he's probably one of the really most cannabis savvy guys I've ever had a conversation with. You know, he's second generation out of Humboldt County grower, geneticist. Breeder. Like this guy would be the source for your seeds. If I was going to suggest anybody to get seeds from or genetics, it would be Jacob.
All right, Jacob, come on down. We want to talk to you, man. I need some photos.
That social media app that he's done is pretty cool too. You know, I've had a chance to look around on there a little bit, and
Facebook user with all the pretty hearts and hands. I just try and earth.
Like earth and gas. Like gas in a good way. Like there's some weed that is gassy.
Or gas like
or you mean like fuel?
Like
petrol. If you're talking about petrol, then
are you all dried off, Curly Cal? You all dried off?
Gas from a fart. Oh.
No, that's
something like the hippie experience this morning from the drops.
Yes.
Just a little drier.
Fuel, not good.
Fuel. Oh, sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to knee you in the head.
Fuel, not good, he says. Fuel, not good.
Fuel, not good, no.
All right, so I told you, gasoline and kerosene are some of the good main characteristics of a good quality fake cart.
Don't identify anybody or any particular thing, but was this a transaction you did online, or was this something you did hand to hand with somebody?
You can ask me. I got the answers for that. He did it hand to hand with the shady guy on the street.
Okay. Is it the same guy he goes to for his other stuff?
No. I think it was a friend of the guy who goes for his other stuff.
Okay. It would be curious to know how they made it.
What I'm curious to know is why in God's name would it turn black and like tar?
Yeah, I mean, the tar part.
The only thing I could come up with is that Mr. Raggy over there, being the first time that he's ever experienced a cartridge, maybe, just maybe, and he'll probably deny it because this is not, but maybe he was just hitting it too hard and too much and too fast, like a joint.
No.
And he burnt that shit up.
No, the result of that generally has two repercussions, right? Hitting them hard, hitting them fast. Because when I first started selling them, people would come back to me and say, hey, I burnt it out in one day. I went through the whole tank in one day. And I'd be like, well.
Nobody was talking to you, Lori Pritt.
You know what I mean? What would happen is because they're a novel, right? They're a new thing. Nobody's seen them. So they'd pull them out amongst a group of friends, they'd take a hit. They'd pass it to the next guy who'd take a hit. They'd pass it to the next guy who'd take a hit. And the hotter you keep that coil and the more active you keep that coil without time for it to cool down, the more oil can get into the ceramic and gets used.
Right. It goes faster.
So, yeah. So you can really burn through it fast, because the ones I used to have were about 100 puffs.
Yeah.
Got 100 to 125 puffs.
Lori just said she got some and they went black. She went back and got her money back. They were homemade.
Yeah, I don't know what would cause them to go black, because I never had that experience.
Once you go black, you never go back. I've always heard that.
I mean, I made pens that had darker colored oils because the shatter itself was darker, but never the color of the ones of the picture I just saw. And I've never seen it change from its initial color inside the cartridge to turning black. And the device itself shouldn't be generating enough heat to cause that occurrence. So what I have to believe is it's the chemical that's there. Yeah.
I got to do a commercial.
Oh,
we'll be right back. You're hanging with Da.Hippie and DoktorHigh. He'll finish his statement after this commercial.
I won't remember it.
I already forgot it. I was going to remind you and I forgot already. Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. If you need some kick-ass puppets, contact Forge at 1-636-234-1535. He has all your puppet needs. He can fix puppets, build puppets, custom-made puppets. He has puppets off the rack for cheap prices. Contact Forge today at 1-636-234-1535 or on TikTok or Facebook at Badger Heart Puppetry. He also makes LARPing items too.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Are you looking to have some crocheted made by hand stuff like your Grammy used to do for you? Then you need to check out You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy and TikTok. Vern can do what you need. She crochets hats, she crochets animals, everything, anything you may need. She also makes vinyl stickers, banners for your business. Anything that you might want that she can do, she can definitely do it for you. You want an I Hate My Ex sticker? She's got you covered. Anything, and I mean anything that you may need, she has cheap and reasonable prices. Check her out.
That's not
You Have Me
necessarily a
Hooked
bad
23
thing,
on
Facebook
Etsy
user.
and TikTok.
Sometimes mine is from the dispensary, and I have to
Hey, Dad,
unclog
your prescription
it
will be
from
ready in
sucking
just a
hard
minute.
on. I have to suck hard
Hey, Dad,
on it to get
your
it to
laundry
go
will be
in the
ready
morning.
in just a minute.
If you let it sit for a while in a
your lunch
cool
will be ready
area,
in
it could
just a minute.
congeal and give you a
Hey,
little bit of a rough time
why don't
sucking.
you take a minute?
Right, Dr. High?
When you help care for a loved one, give them as much
yes.
time as you can.
We'll
Making
talk
sure-
about that in the commercials then.
All right.
But it's just as important that you
Yeah,
take
because
some
my
time
cartridge
for
is
yourself.
a dispensary
At
cartridge I'm
AARP,
sucking on
we can
right
help
now,
with
and this
information
morning
and
I
useful
had to,
tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and
for a
mental
couple
well-being,
seconds before
and
it
manage
said,
the
"Pup."
challenges of caring
it
for
was
a
like,
loved one. Because the better
all right,
care you
I'll
take of
work.
yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Like, I'm taking the day
Thanks,
off.
Dad.
You need to cut
Thank
down.
you. You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, class, let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock.
Problem already.
Little
There-
minnow
yeah,
swimming
there it
around
is.
way below us. And
You
then I
can't
rescued
let
my
it
little
get-
brother
first
from an
off, you
evil
can't let
slug
it get
king
too
who was
hot.
guarding him at the
That's
bush
a
fortress.
bad
And my
idea.
sister and I
You'll
brought him
lose-
back
you'll
to our
lose
super
oil.
twin
It'll
fort for
fucking
safety.
leak.
And then we all laid out
And
and
that
told
too
stories until it
cold
got
or
dark.
letting it
And
sit
the
for
Big
that
Dipper let us
long.
all the way home.
Where were you, Jill?
Well, let me get super.
We went to the
Can you
forest.
identify yourself,
It's not that
Facebook
far away.
user? We don't know who
Anyone
we're
wanna
talking
come this
to, and I don't want to call you Facebook user.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the
We're
forest.
just going to have to start calling those people FU.
It's closer than you think.
Yes.
Check out discovertheforest.org.
You.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're listening live to WTHC Radio on Live 365.
Hey, it's Bill Schmidt Jr. aka Billy Blaze.
Happy 420 to everybody. Love WTHC Radio.
R.I.P. to my man Derek Crow. I want to give a shout out to Calligraphy. My dude Means. Little homie Manuel Noriega.
Oh, Little Red.
Just
Hi, Little Red.
Rossi, Jack
She
Up
goes to a
Parker,
dispensary.
the
Yeah, it
League.
comes up Facebook user, Little Red, so we don't know it's you. You must be joined through the group instead of on the page or the YouTube.
Keep his head in the cloud. Bel Air Kush by the bush. Wow. Screaming loud, still smoking, having nice dreams.
Yeah, we'll talk to you about that right after this song.
I'm half baked, sir, smoke a lot. Doctor said I need a bacchiotomy. Prescribe me huckleberry and lemon cherry gelato, G. I take it back to rolling in the Optimo, blowing smoke out my nose, dropping ashes on my clothes till I doze off. I'm so fried, no lie. Got you afraid of heights, scared to
Please,
look down.
please, Mr. Slow. You're very pushy.
Like I lit that shit in the crowd.
Now I'm going to call you Mr. High. I apologize.
Just don't send me any surprise pictures.
Oh, you're sending your dick pics again.
Okay. Live resin, fire, disposable straw, 1,000 milligrams. 3,000 ounce. Peter juice.
Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. 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 Roll that shit.
Can't keep up with all the licking and the rolling and the burning.
Got sunshine in my pocket on a Sunday stroll. Homie got the rap, give me the sack. Let the good times roll. Therapy, earth, body, and soul. World, give me beef. Bel Air Kush, give me mental control. L lit back roll. 5 hats told. The studio we roll. Bring relief. We the music, all I need to know. Healthier than hip hop. Mother, give me herbs to fill spot. My medication,
Oh my God! Oh my God! Dr. High, you should have never given everybody your information. Now they're all sending you porn. Now Lori's sending you.
Stand up, provide the right education. Show love, holistic cloud, politics throughout the nation. Making us stop debating Billy Blunt, stash, flavor, taste the weed.
Weed is all I need. Smoke that weed. Life breathe, broke down leaves. Roll up in the leaf for my relief. I'm in love with THC. Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. 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 Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it.
Oh, I have seen your boobs. WTHC. Good afternoon, everybody. 123. Happy 420 to everybody out there celebrating. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to smoke with you. We're hanging with Dr. High. We're having a good time. We got a great week coming up. We still got plenty of shows. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Great shows with some fantastic guests. So make sure you're back here tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. It's going to be amazing. Dr. High, tell them about that pen that gets sticky every once in a while.
Sticky? What do you mean?
Cart. Come on, man. Stay with us here. Sober up. We were just
I'm back to Little Red here.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That you pull the oil out when she pulls it. So basically, I would believe that if you're storing it in the car and you're leaving it in the car, it is summertime. So the pen is probably being heated like the inside of the car, which could be, 110, 120 degrees on the inside of the car. Like you can't leave your pets in there in the summertime and stuff like that. Your oil pens are the same thing because the warmer cannabis oil is, the easier it flows, right? The more viscous it is. So that would be why you'd probably being able to pull it up when you pull on it. That shouldn't be the case. And I think it's probably because the oil in the pen is too warm. You know, that's
Yes.
more likely.
You have to treat. You have to treat. It's in the house, the cold house. Yes. Well, there's your answer right there, girl. It's too cold. So
and you can't leave them in your car in the winter either.
Oh yeah, no, because then it'll freeze.
Yeah,
you have to treat your cannabis like children. You have to take care of it very carefully. So no leaving your cannabis in the car while you're going to the store. You have to bring it with you because you have to keep it at the right temperature. It can't just be sitting in a hot car or in the snow. You know, because when it gets cold, it'll stick and it'll get hard to suck. And then when you're sucking on that pen, you get that look like trying. And then finally it'll go pop, and you'll be able to hit it.
Yeah.
Pillows. What's up, my brother?
That's what I was going to suggest to you. And you're saying that you got to pull it hard in the morning. All vapes are kind of like that, right? Because they cool down, and the oil isn't accessible. So a lot of vape pens are activated two ways, right? Either just from the draw, just from sucking on it, the air coming through activates the coil, or you have a button there that you can use to activate the coil on demand. So generally, the first time you use the pen in a day or in a session, let's say, use the button until your pen frees, until you can actually pull it. Then you don't need to use the button anymore, because the slower you pull and the easier you pull, the less heat is generated in the coil, gives you more flavor, gives you a better pull, right? And if you want harder, then you use the additional. Yeah.
And some, I mean, the better the pen, the better the quality. Some pens come with a preheat coil, like you hit it 2 times and the shit'll heat up to the right temperature, get everything flowing, and then you hit it and smoke it. So some pens, but yes, you can definitely get a bad cart too. I've had bad carts where I've had to bring them back from the dispensary. I've gotten carts that were half full grams that were half full, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit, man? I ain't even taking a hit out of this.
I got 2 right here that leaked.
Yeah, all over the place, right? And that's some shit.
Yeah, it's hard to see, but you can see the discoloration inside, right?
Hello, yep, I can see it.
So
looks like my underwear in the front.
And this one was way more. Look at how much
God. This one was. That one looks more like my underwear than the other one.
The oil smells so nice. So nice.
Oh, but how do you fight them now?
Well, I mentioned this to my guys at the dispensary when I was there the other day. I told him, I said, I was really surprised. I had 2 of those things leak, right? And he told me, bring them back.
He said, no, they don't fucking leak. You're fucking
tripping. He told me, bring them back. You know what I mean? Just bring them when you come in and we'll deal with it. So
yeah, well, once you get to know them, I guess they start to believe you and that. But, you know, in the beginning, it was like, yeah, no. They gave me a hard time. They were like, no, you have to write to the company. They got to give you verification. Then you can bring the cartridge back to us, and then we'll return it. That was very early in my cartridge, you know, back in when I first started with my card.
Right.
By the way, still hasn't fucking come in the mail. Dr. Harris, I'm going to wait till he's here on Thursday. I'm going to got a word for him.
Takes a couple days. You only saw him like what, Friday last week, Thursday?
Yeah, I know. He said 7 to 10 days.
Yeah, it takes a few days.
He did say he was going to put me on, and you know, he was like, I'll set it in right now because I know you're in a bad place. And I was like, oh, thank you so much.
Right.
So he sent it in immediately. So
Little Red says it's actually in the house, in the cold house. So option number 2 would be they overfilled the device. That can sometimes cause the oil to come up when you pull on the pen if it's been overfilled.
Oh, is she got a leaky pen? Is that this whole time? And I'm thinking she's stuck.
She's saying that when she sucks on the pen, she gets the oil in her mouth.
Oh.
But that could have been a result of having it too viscous, right?
Well, definitely too hot. But
being in the warm.
I don't see it being cold, yeah.
Yeah, if it's in the house, it could be that the pen was overfilled or that they've used too much liquid to emulsify the cannabinoids inside, so the oil is just too loose, and that's why it's able to bypass the ceramic and come right up into your mouth. So it could be a couple of reasons for that. If it's not the heat, then those would be what I would suspect would be the other culprits. So, yeah.
Oh, I mean, if she's able to, would you suggest maybe taking it out of that cartridge and then pouring it into another one, maybe that is unscrewable, and trying to reuse a new cartridge?
I mean, you'd have to have a syringe that would allow you to pull it out, right? You can't just pour it out. You have to. And if it's an issue with the oil being too viscous, it's not going to change anything anyway.
Well, first of all, sir, please explain to me what the hell viscous means, because I got no clue what the fuck you're talking about.
Well, the more viscous it is the more liquidy. A viscous liquid is like water, right? And then you have different. Let's transition from water to olive oil to coconut oil. That's solid, right? That would be the different states right through there. So when I say viscous, I mean one that's more loose.
All right, I dropped out of learning before I learned viscous. I'm sorry.
More on the watery side is what I'm getting at. So they just might have used, let's say you have a 1 ml pen.
Thinner. Well, if it's hot, it would get thinner.
Well, that too, right?
Viscous, right? If it got hot, it would get viscous.
Yeah, we were under the assumption that
the word of the day today is viscous.
And she hasn't. So outside of that, that's what we'd have to look at. Now, I took a look at Raggy's packaging.
Oh, goodness. He showed you his package, huh? I told you, don't look at all his pictures. He's a freak.
Yeah. Well, I mean, somebody has made an effort with the packaging on that device. The packaging looks really good. The information on the back looks good. Stainless steel coil and blah, 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 blah.
Oh, wait. So did Raggy, did you go find, hold on, I'm sorry. Raggy, did you go find them on Snapchat where you sent them to me and then sent them over? Because that's what I was going to try to do. You get two pictures, one of the front and one of the back?
Yep.
Okay, yes, good. Okay, then I don't have to do that. All right, good. Go ahead, sorry.
Yep. No, so, I mean, I don't know how to analyze that, right? Because it's all a live resin. Yeah, the package looked like it was.
It was the limp tip that threw me off. I was like, I think it's it's got a limp.
I've not seen a device like that before, but that's not anything to do with why the oil turned black, and that's a live resin. Or according to the packaging, that's a live resin. So
and it looked like a live resin. It didn't look like a distillate when it started. It definitely had that darker golden brown, but it looked fine. It didn't look like a bad golden brown, He thought it was a little dark. I thought it looked okay, for a live resin. You can't really see all the way through, but you can see through it.
So you've seen both. How much?
Oh yeah, I've seen
how
both.
Much discoloration?
I saw his when he opened it, so I know what his looks like.
How extreme is the discoloration from the time you opened the package till you just saw the most recent image of it?
The black image?
Has it changed drastically?
Oh my God, it's two different things. Yeah. It looked like a golden brown live resin, like a nice live resin. Then now you've seen what it looked like. It looks like a black crispy piece of charcoal in the bottom of his vape. And he only had it for a day or so. It wasn't like he had it.
I can see how full it is still.
Yeah.
So I know that it wasn't used hard. So that coil, I just don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. I have not seen.
Do you go back to said shady guy on the street and show him and be like, hey, what's this about?
I would.
Do you just throw it away and say no more because shady dude just sold me something weird?
I would present it to him. I mean, I wouldn't shy away from that because it's my money, right?
Well, Raggy says this is not the type of guy you present it to. You put the money in his hand, he puts the stuff in your hand, and he walks away, and you don't even know his name kind of guy,
Well,
like you hand the money through a hole in the wall. You hand the money through a hole in the wall, a pen comes out, and you walk away kind of shit.
Right. Like a trap house.
Right, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say other than I don't think that you should continue
Yeah,
using it.
See, he said he'll come back with no teeth. He's already got some sad-looking teeth because he's from Britain.
Jeez.
Oh, that's Austin Powers, not him. Sorry, my bad.
All right, so Lori,
thank you for getting me back on track, Dr. High.
Lori sent me a photo. It wasn't the photo that she mentions in the
not the boob pics
in the chat. No, I didn't get that.
Those will come later.
I missed that one, but I did get a picture of the plant.
Oh yeah, it's looking nice.
Put it up right now.
Yeah,
it's and you switched over to a bloom formula. There's still a bit of discoloration in the new growth. I don't know if that's maybe the camera or if there's a little bit of purpling in there or some brown. It's still indicating to me purple. It's purple, eh? Yeah, deficiency there someplace to cause that purpling. But the plant looks a whole lot better than it did when we first saw it. That's for sure.
Is up here in her brain.
It will look much better.
That's where the
for
deficiency
sure.
is.
So, pretty good. Coming along nicely. I would take off those dead.
Lori, I love you.
Yeah, at the bottom, I can see some right yellowed out leaves. Once you start seeing the leaves start to die at the bottom of the plant, just cut them off. Remove them right away. The plant is going to use energy to try and protect those leaves and bring them back.
Want to go to the better leaves.
Yeah, I mean, on a plant that size, if you remove 5-6 leaves at this point in time, you're not going to do any harm at all.
But don't use a saw to cut them off.
No, a sharp pair of scissors, and cut them close to the stem or the branch.
But don't cut the stem.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
I would get rid of those. And right at the very bottom of the plant, where you have your first branching set, if you notice inside the V, you're starting to get new growth coming out here.
Yeah,
I would remove that. Remove the growth at the bottom. That's the closest to the main stem. Cut those off because they're not going to do anything for you anyway. They're just going to sap energy from the plant. And while you're giving it a bit of stress with that leaf removal, you might as well take those little things at the same time.
And then we're going to need you to sit there like an oscillating fan and blow on it. Because you got to give it stress. And you got a lot of wind. You got a lot of hot air in you, girl.
Okay, so where are we at here?
I don't know. That's the job. They're like, dude, you want this shit or what?
Okay, I'm already past that picture. I didn't get that one, though, Lori. I'll be looking out for that one.
Cheese guys. Man.
Elvis, yep, we've seen them. Oh, it's in the house, the cold house. How you doing, Robert? Sorry I didn't catch you earlier. Yep, my pen comes in the store with me. I hold it for hours before I pull it once we leave for the car. Always in my pocket also. I think it's just a bad one. Yeah, that's entirely possible. I found that my failure rate was about 2 to 3% with the devices. So every 100 pens, every 100 pens would have 2 or 3 that were not proper, right? And these devices, for the most part, are made in China. So they have pretty good quality control, but nothing is 100%, right, with those. Just a disposable one. Hello, Sarah. How are you today? I've not seen Sarah with us before.
Oh, no. Sarah's been here.
Has she? No.
Yeah, once or twice. She's just starting to follow us over here, the show. She's been a fan of WTHC for a while. She's a part of the Bella's Badass Crystals family, and then became a part of the WTHC family, and now she's like a crossover. She's like the cheese that holds us together. No, the mayonnaise that holds us together. Bella's and WTHC radio.
Nice.
The mayonnaise. Sorry.
Yeah, you're playing just nice night and day from the first time I saw it. Just a random question. Do you know music can help plants grow? Is it the same with weed plants? Yeah, we believe so. As a matter of fact, the license
told you all you should be playing WTHC radio with your plants while they're growing. Absolutely. Right, Dr.
Yep.
High?
The license.
All the weed songs I play, they're going to be in heaven. Except for they hear that they're going to get smoked. So maybe you shouldn't play that. They'll be like, wait a minute. I think they're talking about us.
Yeah.
They're going to smoke us. We got to get out of here. I'm going to turn yellow.
There is some proof. And actually, do you remember the show Mythbusters?
Absolutely. I used to love it.
So on Mythbusters,
that redheaded weird guy.
They actually test.
Come on with your computer, huh?
Yeah. So they tested
I got a little rowdy.
Mythbusters. And
I can't hear you again. You're frozen. You're adorable. I love you. Give me a big hug. Give me a big hug. Come here. Come here. Touch me. Touch me. Why won't you touch me? Why don't you love me? DoktorHigh. Oh, man. Now he left. I made him feel inappropriate. I apologize. I was too forward. I should have never been so forward. I apologize. Mine says, I look calm, but my head, I have slapped you 3 times. Oh, my goodness. I'm getting slapped again. DoktorHigh has taken a break. I think he had to go drop a deuce. It was a code brown. Code brown. But it's okay, guys, because we got to run a commercial. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks. You are listening to WTHC, Da.Hippie and DoktorHigh, live on Live 365 and tune in.
Hey, Mrs. Hippie, why don't we take a ride to Dauphin, PA today?
Dauphin? What's in Dauphin?
Bella's Badass Crystals.
Oh, but I thought you hang out with them on Facebook and on
calm
TikTok.
That's only on Mondays, Tuesdays, Saturdays, Sundays. Today I want to go there and pick up all my great finds.
That sounds like a great road trip. That's Bella's Badass Crystals on TikTok and Facebook, but you can also find them at the top of the mountain in Dauphin, PA.
They are badass.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous.
Hi, Matthew Novelette.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love has no
Welcome
labels,
in.
and one
Welcome.
small
Thank you
step
so
are
much for
helping
being
people with
here.
different political views,
Everybody,
beliefs, and life
DoktorHigh had a
experiences
code
come together
brown.
through
He'll be right
conversation,
back.
and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so
interesting.
Yeah.
When people actually sit
Thought
down,
he
talk,
farted,
and
but he
listen to
shit.
one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/one small step, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know what that conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope too.
Take a step toward bringing
I
our
told
country
everybody
and
you
your
had a
community
code
together
brown.
by having the courage to start a conversation.
No.
No
It was
labels.
just,
One small step. A message from
Yeah,
StoryCorps
kick me right out.
and the Ad Council.
Yeah, I
Just kick
saw
me
it.
right out with StreamYard.
People do
You
some
were
pretty cool things in their
frozen,
40s
you
and
were
50s.
gone, it
Why
was a
should saving
mess.
for retirement be any different?
said, let me run
they go
some
back to
commercials.
college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding.
Whoa.
Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so
You're
you know they
frozen
got
again,
your
bro.
back. Woohoo! Snarly move, Dad. Thanks, sweetie. So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, Head to acretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's acretirement.org. A message from
We're doing a
AARP and the Ad
fundraiser. We're
Council.
going to get Dr. High a good computer.
Say bye-bye to bottled water. Holistic Health Water has
GoFundMe.
certified medical-grade water ionizers that
Oh,
make 7 types of water.
By the 2nd of October, I'll have better internet.
5-micron filter that lasts
I
up to a
can't
year.
wait.
And each machine lasts 25
Well, you know,
to
the
30
nice thing is I know where I'm going now, so I can make
Or
arrangements
install
to
under
have
your
the
seat.
internet in time.
Even
And,
your mineral spa unit
know,
for your shower.
I do everything online. I
Water.org.
don't use
Get a
TV
free
or
ebook.
satellite.
Plus,
Everything
pay
is
for
free.
any machine full and get an extra filter free. Change your water and change your life. OwnYourWater.org.
OwnYourWater.org. Everybody go check it out. Own Your Own Water. It is delicious. I live by it. I drink it daily here, except for yesterday when I drank those other bottles of water because I needed to do my drugs in those waters, and I didn't want to mess up good water with bad water. Anyway, that's sad about my water situation.
That'll be cool. You know what would be fun to have Lori come up and join us? What I
No.
really love to do
Is
I'd
bring her
like-
up here
I'd
and
like
then
to do-
smack her a couple times? I don't know. What would you like to
Oh,
do?
absolutely not.
Oh,
I'm
you don't
thinking
deal
that
with her
when,
like I
when
do.
she receives the canvas from my production partner, I would love to do a live unboxing here on the show because I'm so curious to see the product. You know what I mean? The packaging, all
Can
that.
she ship it to somebody else and let them come up and show it?
Oh.
You don't understand. I have to deal with Lori all the time.
But I never get the opportunity, so I would like to.
I'll be off that day. I'm taking that day off. It's the
You'll
Dr.
be off
High
that
and
day.
Lori. It's the Dr. High and Lori show. No, I'm just kidding. I love Lori. We're gonna hang out for a full weekend. We're gonna probably kill each other like brother and sister. We're going up to see Muck Sticky in Ohio at Jacobsburg, Ohio for the OVDJ camp out. And her and Curly Kell, I'm in trouble. And I think a couple other people. I haven't talked to Dorothy and Knee Kebab yet, but they might be driving up that way. Our friend Vern said that she sold her car so she could buy a plane ticket to fly up to hang with us.
She's from Florida?
Yeah. I told her she could have probably just hopped on the jet with Buck Sticky and flew up, but
that's it.
Because he's in Florida, but I think he's coming too early or he's coming too late for her. Anyway, it's going to be a great time. I can't wait. I'm very excited. And then there's a couple festivals coming up, Dr. High. I got another festival coming up here in the Pennsylvania area. I wish you could just hop over the border and come hang with us in Kutztown, Pennsylvania. I'm going to go and chill and hand out some cards and talk about us and WTHC radio. Then
the Canada trip. So you guys can come see me up here, but I just can't go the other way. Or I'll be wearing
I got to go get my license redone and get the new license so that I can use it as a passport or whatever they say now. And then I can come to
don't
Canada.
need tickets because he's my +1.
Matt, he's a funny guy, that Matt. Anyway, now I forgot where I was going. Daryl,
how you doing, Daryl?
Nice to
How's
meet you.
everything today?
Welcome in. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please go to our YouTube. It's WTHC Radio. Go to Dr. High's YouTube. It's Dr. High, right? What is it?
No, I'll put it in that because
No.
it would be great to get just a couple of subscribers. But for some reason, like I can't even hardly find myself. But if I go like this,
you're right there. I can see you, buddy. Anyway, then there's another one. Our good friend Curly Kell lives in the Hudson Valley part of New York. And there it is, David Johnson at Dr. High.
yeah. So if you pop that into YouTube, it'll bring you to my channel. I can't believe we got 20 videos on there already.
On your YouTube?
Yeah, 20 videos of our show.
I got like 1,000 of them. I've been putting them up. Go check out the freaking Spotify, man. The Spotify is nuts. Every day I had to upgrade more hours because I can't keep enough hours in here.
Store that much in there, right?
Right. It only gives me 50 hours. I had to go up to the 100 hours so that my wife couldn't keep up with putting the shows up on the Spotify. She's like, I'm trying. But every day I would be full again. I'd be like, we have to delete a couple shows. And I'm like, I'm going to delete your shows. I'm not deleting mine. So
that's it.
Get
So
rid
let's
of
ask Daryl.
Huh? Daryl?
I'm wondering if Daryl has anything he's curious about in the cannabis world that he'd like to know anything about. If he has any curiosities or questions for us, or
give us some knowledge. We're always looking. We're like an open book.
That too, because we don't know, right?
Yeah, Daryl. What do you do, Daryl? Do you just smoke? Are you do you own the biggest dispensary in the world and you want us to sponsor you? Or you want to sponsor us?
Actor, all those informations.
I had a heart attack in 20. Well, that's not a good start, but we're sorry to hear that. I'll finish reading now. Oh, your doctor's nuts. He's nuts.
Is your doctor against just the smoking of cannabis, or does he want you to remove cannabinoids from your life? Like, would he be acceptable with you consuming cannabis in a different form?
Yeah, because
that's the problem. But you know, there is some science that shows that when you do smoke cannabis, it can elevate your blood pressure, elevate your heart rate. During those initial moments of the high, right? So it can have a physiological effect on particularly that part of your anatomy. Yeah.
My doctor just recently told me I'm having an aneurysm. So why would she say it's okay for me to continue smoking marijuana, but I needed to quit smoking nicotine? And she said the two leading causes of an aneurysm are hereditary and nicotine.
Nicotine, yeah.
But weed's okay.
Yeah. Is your doctor okay with cannabis under other conditions, Daryl? Is it simply because it's a heart situation you're dealing with that he's against it, or is he generally not a supporter of cannabis as medicine? But there is evidence to support his position. That's for sure.
Daryl, I got great news. I and DoktorHigh are having my medical cannabis doctor on Thursday, and he will be here to help us to discuss this stuff. So please make sure you're here Thursday. My medical cannabis doctor is going to be here as well.
We're going to have an actual, real, live physician joining us on Thursday, and that's going to be a phenomenal couple of hours. I don't know if he can give us the whole 2 hours, but we'll take whatever he can give us for sure, because it's going to be very interesting.
Absolutely. So he says I have an ICD defibrillator.
It's a defibrillator, yeah. So it's what it is. It's like it's probably surgically implanted, and if the heart stops, it gives it that shock, right? So
he's a grower, not a shower.
Yeah. And that's going to be the hardest, Daryl? I mean, especially when you're a grower, you have a different kind of passion for cannabis. You know, like you can be passionate about it as a consumer, but when you actually are a cultivator, when you actually grow, you form a different attachment to the plant, right? There's a real tremendous love that goes on.
I'm growing my very first. I'm taking care of it, and I love the little fucker. I love him. I go out there every day and I look at him, and I'm like, oh, I love you, little fella.
Oh, it's going to be particularly difficult, to have to give it up like that. It's a real shame. But first you have to look out for your health, and you can't do anything that'll be detrimental to. You can't do anything that's counterintuitive to your well-being, and like I always say, you have to, or you should consult your physicians prior to engaging in cannabis as therapy or medication, simply because there are instances where it isn't the right choice. And sadly, I think, Daryl, that that might be the case for you, and you have my deepest sympathy, because
Nobody
It's
should be
unfathomable.
punished like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Nobody.
just not.
Well, there's a
Not
couple
good,
people I can think of, but
But
besides
you know,
that,
when it comes to living for an extended period of time and giving cannabis up or continuing to use it, and then perhaps rolling the dice on the no way you're going to start smoking. There you go.
well,
There
yeah,
you
I mean, go with the edibles. If he wants you to stop smoking, I would say, all right, doc, I quit smoking, man. I'm fucking chewing that
Or
shit
maybe
up.
transition to the vape, so you don't actually have to combust any plant material. But yeah, I get it. I'd be like that too. Well, that's it. And on Thursday, Daryl, we're going to actually have a doctor on the show. He's going to be joining us at noon on Thursday. If you want to swing in and, perhaps this is something we can address. We're hoping that we'll get a few questions like this from the listeners, and the doctor can give us his thoughts, share his thoughts on these situations. Of course, he's unlikely to go against what your doctor's saying because your doctor is following you specifically.
Right.
And
He
he's
doesn't
not
know you.
Yeah, exactly. But he'll be able to talk to us in generalities and how he would advise, somebody who came into his office in the similar circumstances. And that could technically be like a second opinion, or give you the information you need to perhaps seek out another opinion, moving forward. But it seems to me like you've decided that you're going to continue on, and that's cool too,
Yeah, this doctor, DoktorHigh, has a PhD, pot heavily daily, but that's it. He's not a real doctor, so we have to wait Thursday. But he knows a lot about it right here. This guy, so but
done a lot of research and
go ahead.
And spent a lot of time with medical cannabis patients and prepared medicine for them. And so, I mean, I have that type of experience, but medical training, I have zero. Just a very curious mind, right? No, he'll be on Thursday, Steve. By the way, how are you, Stephen? How's things over there in the beautiful land down under?
The Outback. We call it the Outback. I can't believe Steve has a name over here now. Steve, you got a name. Good day, mate.
We usually just know him from the good day.
Yeah.
You know?
Tomorrow we have say her name again because I don't want to.
Chardell Miller. Tomorrow we have a guest coming on, Chardell, who has a pretty incredible story to share with us about her experience with Rick Simpson oil, RSO. And how it has had a really incredibly beneficial impact on her journey with cancer. And it's going to be really, really interesting to hear about it. And it's quite incredible, the fact that you can go from having a tumor that they put it at stage X. The tumor was so big they couldn't even determine whether it was stage 1, 2, 3, or 4 at that time. And now she is
in her esophagus.
Yeah, it was esophageal. Yeah.
Now, not jaw and mouth and like throat. From
what I understand, and of course, I'm just taking the information
what you've heard and saw on the video.
Well, right, from the podcast I watched, right? So, or listened to. I'm sorry, it was just the audio; it wasn't a visual thing. But I found it quite amazing, and it's not the only story of that nature out there. So, yeah, it should be really, really interesting.
You know why I'm excited? I'll tell you, DoktorHigh, because I've heard so many other stories about the RSO and Rick Simpson oil. And I just love every day when you hear another story about how it's saving people's lives or helping, at least doing its very best to help people, and how wrong the other people were about it. Like how we were right and they were wrong. I love it. I love telling them that they're wrong.
Well, and that's the thing, because
government.
What's actually happening is not really understood because it hasn't been studied properly. But there is enough anecdotal evidence or reported findings that of patients who have been followed by a doctor where even the doctors are a bit confused about the result of the inclusion of cannabis, where they don't quite understand, how it has that ability either. But most of the testing that's been done with cannabis has been done on lab rats, mice and things like that. So
how
that's where a lot comes
do
from.
I apply for that lab rat job? I'm looking for a part-time gig as like a lab rat.
That's it, right?
But just for marijuana, not for anything else. I don't want none of that yellow pot.
No, you don't want to work at the. In Montreal, there's a lot of pharmaceutical industries.
I got one right down the road, man. I got Sanofi right here and down the road for me.
They're always offering people money to submit themselves for testing of new drugs, and they pay well. But
sure, but I got the third leg now. Oh, yeah, that's normal.
So
anyway, DoktorHigh, I don't know how long do you plan on hanging out today, buddy? It's 2. Do you we got time? We can keep talking. I'm cool.
Yeah, just a few more minutes. I think
we'll
not a long day today. But
next commercial.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, give us another 15 or 20. You said you had a couple of stories today. You want to pull one out?
Yeah, I have. Oh, I'm gonna pull it out. Here we go. The first
you
one.
Want to whip out a story?
I'm whipping one out. I'm whipping it out. This town owns part of a weed company, and it wants its fair share of the pot. Hancock, Maryland, with its population and tax base shrinking, the mayor Daniel Murphy didn't know how his tiny town in western Maryland, where nearly 1 in 4 of roughly 1,500 residents live in poverty, would survive. The old manufacturing town, along with the C&O Canal, had lost nearly 650 jobs in a 3-year span, and Murphy felt the huge blow that the exodus of good-paying factory jobs had on families and the community. So some two-income households were relying on one once vibrant factory sat empty as empty shells. Then a deal came along. The longtime mayor envisioned would cement his legacy and help ensure the future of a border town founded in 1749. After some private meetings and public effort to get residents on board, Hancock in 2015 entered the marijuana business. The partnership town leaders were excited to strike a deal with Arizona's based Harvest Inc., likely to the only one of its kind in the country, according to the industry's experts. Some of the officials have watched the mounting skepticism since Hancock agreed to open its warehouse besides the town high school to the company's grow operations. The U.S. government clawed back, granting money after learning of Hancock's stake in selling a substance that remains illegal at the federal level, in the same category as heroin and cocaine. And as the medical marijuana business bloomed, profits trickled into town coffers. Now that cannabis titan True Live has snatched up Harvest, town leaders want a full accounting of its profits. Hancock should be poised to share in the windfall of newly legal audit recreational use, they say, a bloom that saw more than 87 million in cannabis products sold to their state last month. But questions loom about whether the deal, which has no termination date, should go forward, and if how so. Cranking out joints, edibles, and more. I thought this was going to be a good sense, and like I said, my legacy said Murphy, a local veterinarian who served as mayor for 20 years and does not want to see the partnership end. I just got something in the air that makes me feel like some things have changed. Should I go on or?
No, it's interesting, right? Remember,
got
I think we had
about another hour of that story left with my reading.
Yeah, no, we talked about this at one point. We were saying that when federal legalization appears to be imminent, you will find a lot of communities that have lost industry over the last few years that have these big places available, right? Warehouse space, empty factory space. I mean, these can all be converted to cultivation facilities, and it brings jobs into a community, right? And you don't know, like, if these communities are able to give municipal tax breaks to the companies coming in and things of that nature to encourage them to set up operations in that town, then they get the spin-off benefits of employment for their citizens, increased sales in their restaurants and stores because people have some money. There are spin-off benefits for the community of having a cultivation facility in a small place like that. But you need to structure the deal so that there's maybe an added windfall to allowing this into your area, because you're going to find when legalization happens at the federal level, you're going to have a lot of people rush right into this. You're going to have everybody who's got the money to afford the licensing fees and the desire to be in the cannabis game are going to rush into cultivation. And a lot of them are going to lose their shirts because it's an expensive game to get into. It's not easy depending on the regulations the federal government sets on the industry. Compliance could be really expensive. So, you know, in the beginning, it's going to be a free-for-all, but you're going to see a lot of people fall by the wayside, and you're going to see really big companies most likely control the marketplace because they have the money they need to do so. Yeah.
So in excuse me, in my small area where I live in the beautiful Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania, there seems to be an influx of large factories being built in our area. I wonder if some of these I'm talking like 10, 12 of them in this area, all over the place, big ones with nothing planned. I don't know what's planned. They're not telling anybody, but I'm just wondering if this is going to be an area for growing.
Are you sure they're not FEMA resorts?
No, not yet. They might be if they keep sending people, but not as of right now. They are just factories that are being built. Big, huge factories. Huge.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you got to remember is the bigger your cultivation operation, the harder it is to control.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I would love for like one of my, my favorites, like Cresco or somebody, to be like, "Whoa, this is us."
It's entirely possible. I mean, some of the facilities that Aurora has built in Canada are massive. Like the one they have in Edmonton is right at the airport. So you can see it whenever you go to the airport, and it's so big.
It doesn't smell like weed everywhere, like to Hershey. When you go to Hershey, and it smells like chocolate everywhere, you walk through there, and does it smell like weed?
See, when I moved to Alberta, I didn't have a job in the cannabis industry. I went there with the intention of getting one because Alberta was a province where there was a lot going on, and Aurora was my target. That's where I wanted to work. So I went there one day to submit my resume, and from the security office, before entering the premises, that's all you could smell was weed. I mean, it was intense, right?
I love walking.
I wasn't able to submit my application on site. That had to be done online. And and I never ended up working for Aurora anyway. I ended up working for Freedom Cannabis. So,
And now you're here, a famous radio show host.
Well, we're working on the fame part.
Anyway.
We're working on actually being a radio host, but
yeah, we're
you
working
know,
on the whole
we'll
shit.
figure it out. Like anything, it takes time, right?
Right.
The way I see it is,
nothing but time.
Yeah, I got about 50 hours in this game, according to my YouTube videos. It's been about 50 hours of broadcasting. So, give me some time. We'll figure it out.
It's way more.
Eventually, we'll get it formatted properly, too. Once we start, and that's the nice thing about this week is we're going to have some great guests on, which will show that we're pretty serious about what we're doing, and the approach that we're taking is focused on the beneficial part of cannabis. It's not so much the stoner lifestyle as it is the inclusion of cannabis in a healthy lifestyle and in a regimen of wellness.
Well, I mean, but at the same time, a lot of us were just that stoner lifestyle. So I'm personally am learning every day because I've been smoking for 40 plus years. Yeah. But I didn't know what I am learning every day from you. The qualities, the different. Oh my God, it's like every day is a learning experience. And I wanted to ask you, like you were just talking about, we were talking about the factories and the stuff like that. Now, like I told you, my son is all in on this shit. He's going into it. He's already signed up. He's already starting his schooling this year for college. I'm pretty sure you told me business, and that's what he's doing. But he, what else should he be looking at, as the future?
In the cannabis space?
Yeah, that's where he's going. He's going cannabis.
Bottom up. You want to learn it all. It gives you versatility. But the business side of it's going to be important. Cultivation, I would learn cultivation so I understand what companies have to do to bring a product to harvest, and then from harvest to packaging, because that's a whole nother step, right? You don't just harvest your cannabis today, dry it in a dry room for a week or 10 days, and then package it. Companies do that because they want that turnaround fast. But then you get a harsh smoke, a smoke that doesn't burn as nicely because there's still a lot of sugars in the plant. There's still chlorophyll. This takes time to remove, and this is why you use a curing period of, minimum 30 days. Once your product is dry, you need to put it into an environment where it stays dark and sealed. And then once a day, this is what I used to do. And I used to do this with sometimes 250 kilos in a day.
You have to burp it.
Yeah, we used to use what they call C-vaults, which are big stainless steel containers that have the rubber sealed lid that clamps shut, right? So there was no air transfer at all, and there was no light transfer. And each and every day throughout 30 days, I'd have to go into the room, start with each pallet because I'd have them stacked, open up every single C-vault, toss the product inside, reseal it every day for 30 days. We would go through that process and watching the humidity. If the humidity got a little bit dry, then we'd include Boveda, humidity, moisture packs inside. To hold it.
I thought that was a woman who was going to get them all moist.
No, to try and hold it at the correct moisture, because really when you come out of the dry room, your moisture should be around 13%. And then when you bring your product to market, it should be no less than 9%. Right? That should be at your bottom. You should have 9% moisture in that plant material when it goes to market. That's ideal. As you start going below that, then your weed gets a little too dry. If you're above that, then you have the potential for microbial growth and mold inside your weed. Have you ever opened a bag of weed and smelt the ammonia smell? Got a little hint of ammonia from it?
Cat piss. Yeah.
That's degradation and microbial coming up because the weed was bagged before it was at the right moisture content. So it promotes an environment where this bacteria and microbial infestation can start, and that will be a byproduct of it will be that ammonia type odor. Yeah.
That microbial and that bionic, whatever you just said, are they bad for you? Like,
yeah.
Should you not smoke when you get weed that smells like cat piss? Should you just throw it away?
I mean, you should smell it before you buy it, so you don't have to throw it away. Just don't buy it if it has that odor. Now, there is a strain out there called cat piss, and I think there's another one called jaguar piss. But
I've had the Jaguar stuff. Yeah, it's pretty
that's
good.
going to be. That's not going to be like a true ammonia hit. Like we're talking about what you smell when you smell bleach, just not as intense. But there's that ammonia background to it, right? Yeah. So that you want to stay away from. Yeah, we used to, and a lot of companies here in Canada use gamma radiation on their cannabis. We used to control the microbials, right? Because we have to test. So at the end of the dry cycle or just into the cure cycle, I would take 50-gram samples from a harvest that were sent out to the labs for testing. So we tested, obviously, all the cannabinoid content, CBD, THC, CBN, CBG. Terpenes we test for, and we test the microbial counts, how many parts per million in microbial. When you're under 5,000, you don't really need to do too much. You know what I mean? That's an acceptable level.
Under 5,050 pounds.
No, under 5,000 parts per million.
Oh, okay.
Of spores. So it's like a spore count, right? So if you're under...
Hey, Misty, how are you?
Hey, Misty. Thanks for joining us. So if you're under that count, really wasn't a problem. But sometimes you would get up to, 10,000.
Yeah.
Or 50,000. And when it's like that, you don't want to be smoking. So what we would do is we would package that entire harvest, that entire strain harvest, and we would ship it out to a facility in British Columbia where they would run it through something similar to an airport x-ray machine. The same intensity of x-ray that you would find in an airport machine, and they would simply run the product through that machine that kills all the spore growth into the future, and the cannabis was then safe for consumption.
Commercial.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Listen to Da.Hippie and DoktorHigh.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I
Gotta get him in before the 420, man.
Someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/one-small-step,
Doing great, Misty. Thank you so much for stopping in.
Conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me
Certainly
hope.
It gives me a lot of hope too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/one-small-step. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments,
Ready to go into the forest.
or skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement
Curly
is.
Kel's
With
taking them.
aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement
Taking
savings.
into the forest?
Let him
Just
go
have a
into the
3-minute chat with
forest with his
Avo, the friendly digital
girlfriend.
retirement coach from AARP.
You're going to do a song, eh?
Recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Snarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, Mrs. Hippie, why don't we take a ride to Dauphin, PA today?
Dauphin? What's in Dauphin?
Bella's badass crystals.
Oh, but I thought you hang out with them on Facebook and on TikTok.
That's only on Mondays, Tuesdays, Saturdays, Sundays. Today I want to go there and pick up all my great finds.
That sounds like a great road trip. That's Bella's Badass Crystals on TikTok and Facebook, but you can also find them at the top of the mountain in Dauphin, PA.
They are badass.
What up, yo? It's Muck Sticky, and I highly recommend you check out the Hippie and Dr. High show on Facebook and YouTube. Monday through Friday from 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern, baby.
Second opinion on what? Deborah. Don't be causing trouble in here before you're smoking on a big fat blunt.
Please get a second opinion before you decide.
Smoking on a big fat blunt, I think she meant. Oh, maybe she was talking to Daryl. Maybe she caught up with us on Daryl's conversation up there about this heart attack thing. I agree. Get a second opinion.
Man, will you roll that shit up already?
I sure will. It smells real good. Do you like the way it smells?
And a third one, and a fourth one, and a fifth one until the guy says yes. Go with him. He's quality. Or her. I think he's smoking on a big fat blunt. Big fat blunt. Yeah, baby, big fat blunt. That's our boy Muck Sticky. We love him. I'm going to see him. You're not Dr. High.
Nope.
You can't.
I'm not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're
I was bragging. I'm sorry. I'm excited. I can't wait. It's a trip away from the wife and kids. Oh, it's going to be great. I just have to babysit Crazy Lori and Curly Kel, which I don't know, might be worse. I don't know, but
yeah.
Oh no,
So
my
Mr.
daughter. Wait, my
Kids
daughter.
aren't Sticky with you?
No, my daughter is. I forgot. My daughter's coming, and Crazy Lori and Curly Kel and myself.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's
A weekend with the girls. It'd be like girls getaway.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang. I'm gonna have all my girls with their arms around me.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, when I was 18 years old, I had one of the most crazy weekends of my life. I went camping with 8 girls and just me. And it was beautiful because all I had to do was roll the joints and everything else was looked after.
Taken care of. You probably had to get the wood.
What's that?
Yeah, I probably had to go and get the wood for the fire. But besides,
yes, wood for the fire. That's the only wood I had to get.
Yeah, besides that, everything else was taken care of.
It was
well, Dr. High, what do you want to do? I know we're running over already. You said quarter after. We're already at 25.
We're a couple minutes away from 2.5 hours, so we'll run a couple more minutes and then.
All right. Well, our membership has dropped dramatically. They're like, you guys are supposed to be done already. So I was just like,
they're tired of us.
Yeah,
I'm sure we can get tiresome.
No, we can never get tiresome. This is fun. But no matter what, we could always talk about something. Dr. High, do you remember when we used to get bags of weed that were filled with seeds and stems? Do you miss that?
No.
I do, because all those seeds that I threw away back in the day, man, if I had them now,
I remember my high school was surrounded on 3 sides by cornfield. And so on either side of the school was parking for the students. And right at the edge of the parking lot was the cornfield. In the back, we had the athletic field and then the cornfield, right? So we used to clean out back then. I was in high school in the early 80s. So we used to clean out bags of weed, right? We'd buy an ounce and we'd have to scoop out all the seeds. You'd end up with a handful of them. So one day we cleaned one out at lunch at school to roll up some joints. And we took all the seeds and just threw them into the cornfield and didn't think anything about it. So this was probably towards the end of the school year, maybe in May or something like that. In September, we had to go back a couple days early to pick up your schedule and get your stuff together for the
football gear.
Yeah, whatever it was. So me and a buddy of mine went. And as we're leaving the school grounds, I said to him, Steve, you remember all those seeds that we threw out into the cornfield? And he says, stop. So I stopped, and he says, pot right there. And 3 plants had grown in the cornfield, and they were big like the corn. Nice. They were incredibly big. It was way too early for us to cut them down, but we didn't know any better, man. We were kids, right? So we went out to the field, and we ripped out those 3 plants, and we stuffed them in the Camaro. Yeah, I had a 76 Camaro at the time. And the dirt and everything was in the back seat, but the plants were so big that they came from the back seat and were filling up the whole front of the car, right? All the leaf and everything. So we're driving. My buddy's trying to hold the plants like this so I can see out the windshield. And who's coming the other way?
Be careful. Oh,
the cops are driving the other direction. So we're like, oh my God, we're done, right? They're going to see this for sure. But they kept going their way and we kept going our way. And yeah, we got them 3 plants. They were not very good, if I remember correctly, but just randomly grew.
Were there
Just
seeds?
like
You probably didn't even know at that point, like seed plants and bad plants and good plants, like.
Yeah, it just had a lot of immature flower on it, right?
Males and female, who knows?
Because this was Southern Ontario where you'd have a grow season until the end of October. We would have ripped these things out like some point in the last week of August or very early into September. So the plant never reached its potential. But of course, had we waited until school started, it would have disappeared very quickly anyway.
Speaking of Southern Ontario, big shout out to our girl Pothead TH&C up there, Tailored Herbs and Concentrates. We love you guys up there. She's on a 2-day walkabout, I guess you call it. Her and one of her friends are going off the grid for the next 2 days.
Oh, nice.
She stopped by this morning. She has the next 2 days off. She said, I'm out. I'll see you guys. Don't worry. I'm not hurt. I'm fine. I'll text you.
Going to wander the wilds of New Brunswick, eh?
Yeah, they're going. I don't know where they're going. She didn't. She said, I can't tell you because I'll have to kill you. And I was like, okay. But it's, and then I, of course, went and thought dirty stuff. And I was like, are you guys going to do it? And she was like, yeah. And then she realized what I was talking about. And she was like, no. And I was like, oh, damn it. Anyway, Dr. High, I absolutely love you, buddy. You are an amazing friend and an amazing
Oh.
host. I appreciate everything you do for us. I am so excited for our guests tomorrow and Thursday and Friday. Shout her out one more time so everybody knows. Make sure you come here tomorrow at noon.
Tomorrow at noon, Chardell Miller will join us.
Chardell Miller is going to be here, and we are going to talk to her about Rick Simpson oil and everything that it has done for her to help her and her journey, right? And now she has a whole bunch of other friends that are also. I'm going to do my very best to keep my mouth shut so you guys can talk, and and I'll just butt in every once in a while, but I don't want to
have your questions.
Oh, I'll have questions, but mine are usually bad, inappropriate, and stupid. No
It'll
question.
be fun, I'm sure.
My mommy always said no question is stupid. So, like when I asked Pothead if her and her friend were going to do it this morning, it wasn't a stupid question.
Listen, if somebody asks a question, it's because they don't know and they want to know.
Right.
So no question is ever a stupid question.
I
You know
had
what I mean?
no idea whether Pothead and her girlfriend were going to do it or not, and I needed to know. You're freezing up again, buddy. I love you.
Yes, man. Have a great day. Thank you, everybody, for passing your time with us today. It's appreciated more than you know. We really love having you here with us, and we promise we'll get better as we go along. And tomorrow will be a great day. Thursday will be a great day. Friday will be a great day. There's going to be different thoughts and opinions, different voices with us, and it should be very, very interesting the next couple of days. When we're done on the show, you want to go into your Facebook and accept Chardell's friend request.
I certainly will.
Just send her a quick message to make sure you're in communication, and she can get the link tomorrow morning for the show. That would be fantastic. I've already explained to her a bit about how StreamYard works, so should be okay. She's like us. She's older like us, right? So we'll be all right. Thank you, Elvis. Appreciate you being with us today, Mr. Snow, Lori, Deborah, everybody who spent some time with us. Thank you so much.
Everybody, thank you, Misty, everybody out there. You guys are amazing. Now they're all starting to come back.
Kelly.
You guys are still on. Yes, everybody, we love you. Have a great, great day, everybody over here on Facebook and YouTube, and we'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to like and subscribe and pound that other button or whatever they tell you to do. Till then, peace, love, hippie hugs, and a shitload of nugs.
Peace, everybody. Have a great day.